I am moving to a new state. Can I take my LLC with me? Maybe, but first, disclaimer, I am not your attorney, I'm not your CPA. I am here to provide generally accessible information that you can get anywhere on the internet. I'm just trying to curate this into a nice little entrepreneurial center hub, if you will, for research. Use me as one of your sources, not your only source. Always do as much research as you can before you make a big decision. All right, can you take your LLC with me? What's that called? Domestication. And that is only if your state that you're moving to supports domestication. So let's say I've got ABC Tile and it is in the great state of Texas, and I am planning on moving to the great state of New York. I've been in business in Texas for maybe 30 years, and I just kind of want to change the scenery, and so I'm going to New York. And I'm just going to be selling tile. ABC Tile is in Texas, and I'm not expanding. This is not an expansion. This is I'm leaving Texas and I'm going to New York. So your state that you're moving to needs to support domestication. I think there are only 16-ish states that support domestication. So don't, check to make sure that your state that you're moving to supports domestication. It doesn't matter the state you're moving from. It matters the state you're moving to. And so if the state of New York, and I don't know off the top of my head whether they do or not, so apologies, but if I'm moving to New York and if New York supports domestication, then yeah, I can just do a filing and domesticate in New York, and that LLC will be moved from Texas to New York. And in that case, I can keep my EIN. This is a big thing. When we talk about, opening up new LLCs or moving LLCs, a big problem that happens specifically with sole proprietors is sole proprietors that have been practicing by themselves for a while that become LLCs think that they can bring the EIN with them, and they just can't do that. But in this case, because it technically is the same LLC and they're just moving it or domesticating it to this new state, you can keep the EIN. Now, what happens if New York actually doesn't support domestications, as most states don't? Well, then unfortunately, you got to kind of go through the hassle of closing down your Texas LLC. So you'd have to dissolve the Texas LLC and then open a new LLC in New York. And so that's something that kind of you got to work through. Maybe it's a good idea to talk to an attorney in the new state that you're moving to about that. The other thing you might be able to do, if we want to talk about domestic and foreign LLCs, I recommend you check out a video that we've got that is specifically about that. I'm just going to give a quick overview of this. Let's say I started in Texas and in this case I'm actually expanding to New York. This would be the domestic LLC, and this would be the foreign LLC. Foreign LLCs have nothing to do with a foreign country. It has to do with kind of state of origin versus secondary, third, tertiary, fourth, fifth, sixth state that you expand to. So another thing that you can do, it might not be the best solution, it might not even be the right solution, is you can just keep your Texas LLC and then form a foreign LLC in New York. That way you can keep the EIN, but then you'd have to be doing state compliance in this state and state compliance in this state, and that might be more hassle than what it's worth. So it's really kind of up to you to how you want to do that and what your state supports. If it supports domestication, that probably is the best way to go. But if it doesn't, you're either going to have to close down the LLC and start anew, in which case you will have to get a new EIN, because you're dissolving the old one and starting a new one. And so that comes with getting a new bank account and all this other rigmarole. Or maybe you just keep this one and then create a foreign LLC in the new state. But again, that might have a lot of paperwork on the back end. Maybe this is the quick. Maybe this option I just gave is the quicker option if it's a quick thing you got to do. So that being said, I'm not going to get into these ones. That's the kind of. I mean, that's the tweet. That's the whole thing. So I'm done here. But if you have a question, comment below. Happy to answer it. If you got value out of this video, like, subscribe, share it with a friend. Use betterlegal.com to form your LLC or your corporation, or use us to domesticate your LLC or dissolve and start the new LLC. We can help out with all of that at betterlegal.com, and I will see you on the next video.